It's difficult to believe that 6 months have passed since that horrific day, and in a way I think we're going to be permanently stuck in that moment. And the loss of that day and the loss not only of human life but our way of life as Jews in this country I think will stay with us for a long, long time. But as always, we're buoyed by the resilience and the courage and the conviction shown by people like Matilda's father and mother, who stand up at these vigils and recite her name and tell her story, which takes incredible courage. So, you know, when I look back at the last 6 months, they've been a horror show, no doubt, for the community, but we've come through fire. We've shown who we are. We've never been stronger. We've never been more determined. We've never been more proud to be Jews and Australians, and I think that says something about who we are as a community.
Thankfully, there have been no terrorist attacks in Australia since then, although there have been some shocking events overseas. Do you believe the federal and state governments have done anything since Bondi to make Australians, and in particular Jewish Australians, safer?
Look, we've seen a greater police presence and visibility on our streets, which I think brings comfort, and particularly outside Jewish institutions. But there's a long way to go. And what we learned on that horrific day was that we're not dealing with a couple of individuals with a murderous ideology. We're dealing with a movement of hatred that wants to slaughter Jews wherever it finds them. We've seen this around the world, and we've seen it in our own backyard as well. So it's not going to be eradicated easily. This is going to take a whole-of-society approach. It's going to take law enforcement doing much more and working closer together. And one of the things we've seen through the last few weeks of the Royal Commission is that there were certainly failures between the police and the federal police and ASIO. Things were missed, evidence was missed off, and things like that result in tragic consequences. So the short answer, Chris, is that no, I don't think enough has been done, but there's no easy solution either. But I'm hoping deeply that this Royal Commission will put us on a path to a better, safer country for everybody.
The simple fact, though, isn't it, that we know that Islamist extremist hatred is still being preached in Australia now. In fact, being preached in Australia, you know, only a half-hour drive from Sydney, from Bondi Beach.
Look, we've known that for a long time, and when you saw the rise of ISIS in the Middle East and hundreds of Australians voluntarily travel there to participate in barbarism, and how many more remained in Australia but adhered to that ideology, we're going to have problems for a long, long time. And obviously with the return of the ISIS brides, I think that deepens that problem. It stretches police and AFP resources to monitor people who need to be looked at very closely. So we're dealing with probably thousands of people who possess an ideology and could be minded to act violently at any point in time. And we have to deal with it immediately through better border security, better law enforcement, better coordination between agencies, but also long term we have to deal with the factors of disinformation, of propaganda, of radicalization. These are the precursors to the violence that we saw at Bondi, and they're still slushing through our institutions, through mosques, through schools, through social media, cultural institutions. We haven't grappled with the problem.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks.